I'm a Christian. I'm single. And I'm a lady. And I don't feel like I am any lesser or any less of a follower of Christ than my sisters who are wed. Welcome back to Jesstalks. This is a part of the show where I come out and I talk. This has been something that has been on the mind a lot. And I mean a lot. Because it's very big in both cultures, both our culture and in Christian cultures. That being single is apparently some form of just being lesser, maybe even being a sin, a problem. And I would really like that not to be the view of a lot of people. And it's kind of amusing to me because this is a topic that I can very much so relate and be part of and have personal experience with. And it amuses me to no end on this. I do a lot of videos on here that has to do with families and childcare. Because I'm single, I do not have a family of my own at the moment. So a lot of that stuff is just what I have witnessed. Basically, a good chunk of it is just repeating what my mother has said because I agree with her. Awesome woman, that one. But this is a topic that I can speak from the heart from. Not saying that the other ones I don't speak from the heart, but this is a topic that I can truly give my opinion on, which I am very amused and very tickled about. I want to make a couple of things very straight. I'm going to try to keep this very to the point. I do believe that 98% of people are destined and should be married. Just point blank, period. I fully do believe that. I am not in any way, shape, or form shaming anyone who is married. I do think 98% of the people should be married. That's what God calls you to do. He has said multiple times. You can find it throughout the entire Bible. Being married is a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to make that very, very clear. I also want to make very, very clear that just because you are single at the moment does not mean that you always will be. Even when you are called to be married, to be in a relationship, that can mean very different things to very different people. Because you can be called for that. Well, how do I word this? You can be called to be single for a season, or you can be called to be single for a lifetime. And I do think that is a very important thing to acknowledge, that you can be called to be single for a season, for a time period, for a point. And I don't think that makes you any lesser because of it. And I do believe that some people are called to be single. I do put that out there. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. It is said throughout the Bible, specifically through a good chunk of Paul's writing. If you want very specific, read 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Just all of chapter 7 is really good on a lot of this. But in there, it is stated, talking about both being married and being single. When you are single, you can devote your entire life, mind, body, soul, to the Lord, to your calling with Him, to your race and your path. Whereas when you are married, you have to devote some of that stuff to your husband, your kids, your wife, if you're the other gender. You have to devote a good chunk of time to that, as well as being on top of devoting yourself to the Lord. And it is stated, again, specifically in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, but Paul actually talks about it a ton in a good chunk of his writing. I am in middle of reading through a lot of the New Testament, specifically his writings to the different churches, the Corinthians. I'm in Thessalonians at the moment, Galatians, Ephesians, just like all of them. He says it throughout a lot. He talks about relationships throughout a lot, talking about them and talking about both perspectives. Now, one way that I can, or I want this video to be specifically targeted towards ladies who are like myself, who are young, who are single, who are just feeling very, well, the good words to use that I have, and I'm using these words because it's what I have dealt with myself: jealousy, envy, and loneliness because of not being wed. Those are all feelings and thoughts and things that I have dealt with personally. And it can be a lot. It can be a lot to confront all of these things. But something that helped me, something that started me down this path of thinking along this line, was actually something I heard from someone else once. It was a podcast, and I wish I could remember who it was, but I only listened to the one thing. But it was people talking about this, and it was just going into the fact of comparing yourself. That's what a lot of this boils down to, is comparison. Comparing yourself and being jealous for people you know that are in relationships, who are finding themselves in love and being wed and being married and all of this stuff, and then not liking it and not being able to be happy for them, even though you know you ought to be. It is these feelings the devil will use any way he can to make you feel inferior, to make you feel useless, to make you feel like less than what you are. And he will specifically target us young women in this way. He will make us feel horrible about the fact that we are not married or engaged or in a relationship. He will use that to drive jealousy and comparison and just feeling terrible and not being able to be happy for your family and for your friends. Again, I'm speaking from experience with this. He'll use all of this to get at you. And a lot of the time he'll succeed. It's the thing I'm trying to remember how it was worded in the person who I heard this from. He'll use all of this to bring you down and to stop you from focusing on the Bible, from focusing on Jesus. He will use this to put a stumbling block in your way and to cause problems and issues. And I heard this in a podcast, and I wish I could remember what podcast it was. It was like a clip or something. But I heard that, and it was like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. You're so right. You can't compare your journey, you can't compare your race to another person. Whether that person is your sister being married or getting married, your family member being married, or a friend, or just seeing it on social media, the happy couples, you can't, that's not your race. That is not your story. That is not your path. And comparing yourself to it is just letting the envy and the jealousy get in you and cause problems and issues. And anger can be thrown in there a lot also. It could be a problem. It could be a really big problem. Obvious, for multiple reasons. When I heard that, so what I'm trying to say is when I heard that, it really made me stop and think and go, oh, wait a minute. I am not failing where I am because I am not in a relationship at the moment. I am not failing as a Christian. I am not on the wrong path or anything along this line just because I'm not in a relationship. The Lord has called me for this moment to be single. I don't know if it's for a long period or I don't know if it's forever, and I don't know if it's just for this season. I don't know which one it is, but he has called me to be single at the moment. And thinking back, so I had that part of the revelation about 2 years ago. But this has been something that I have been dealing with personally for longer. So this has been a very long long progress with me. To come to the point where I'm really truly okay with it. You know? Do I actually want to be married and in a relationship? Yes, absolutely. I would love to be married. I would love to have children and a home of my own. All of this, a nice little family, a home, a husband to be there for me, to be with, for me to help him. Yes, I absolutely do. I really do want that stuff. But the Lord has not called me to have that at this moment. And again, I don't know if it's for a long time, and I don't know if it's just for this season. But he hasn't called me for that. And that is not a bad thing. And I'm not any lesser of a Christian because I don't have a ring on my finger. I have a lot of beliefs. I have a lot of beliefs in general. I'm a very opinionated person at times. But I do have a lot of opinions and views when it comes to love and relationships and everything. And a lot of that I do carry with me even in singleness. Trying to make sure I covered everything in that first bit before I move on to my second bit. It's going to be kind of a split in between two themes here. Being single, I have been able to put a lot, and I mean a lot, of focus on my relationship with the Lord. And I have spent a lot of this time working on myself also. And I think back of what things that has happened over the years, and the positions and the places and the hardships that I have been through, and how different they would have been if I had been in a relationship during all of them. And to be honest, I think that would have ruined a lot of things. Without getting into specifics, especially in the last couple of years, if I had been in a relationship and had to put focus on that relationship, odds are very good that there would have been a very hard strained relationship between me and my family. There is very good chance that I would not have a close of walk with the Lord as I do have now. And it's just a lot of these things that I'm just like thinking in general, where it's God has good timing. The Lord knows what's going to happen, what has happened, what is happening. And his timing is perfect. Because I have been, quote unquote, free, as it were, I have been able to serve the Lord in many ways that I wouldn't have been able to otherwise. I wouldn't have been able to serve my family and my friends and my church in ways that I have been able to serve if I had been in a relationship. And I wouldn't have been able to work on myself to the extent that I have if I had been in a relationship. Again, I'm not saying that if you're not married that that's a bad thing. That is not what I'm saying. Again, I believe like 98% of the people should be married, and that's a good thing, and they're called to be married, and the Bible supports that 100%. Absolutely. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I am talking about the women who are saving themselves for the guy whenever and if the Lord calls them to that. I really think that there is and can be a big beauty in being single and living your life and doing your, well, I say living your life, but you know what I mean, living your life with the Lord, the life that the Lord have given you. He has given, that's a good point. He has given you your life, and he has given you and put you where you are right now for a reason. And if that reason is to be wed, to be to help your husband or help your wife, be there for your wife, if that, to be there for your significant other, then great. Do it with full force. Do it with your whole heart. That's another Bible scripture. I don't know where it is in the Bible. But to do all things with your full heart, body, mind, soul, and love that you have. But on the flip side, if he has given you a life where you are single, then dive into it with full force. To live that life with the love and the passion that your married friends and family has also. It's not any less. I want to make that very clear. Your life is not any less because you are not in a relationship. You are not any less of a person. And those thoughts that go in your head, the jealousy, the comparison, the anger, the envy, that is all the devil trying to get in your head and in your mind, making you think that you are not worthy of where you are and the relationship you have with the Lord. He will take anything that he can get his hands on and use it against you. And I think this is something that he has been using against a lot of people, again, specifically young women or young people in general, because I do think that young men struggle with this as well. But he will use that and he will make you feel inferior and horrible and build up this resentment towards these people that you love and care for and want to be happy for. So that's my first point. My very first clear point on all of this. I love my life. I love where I am right now. Yes, of course, I would absolutely love to have a husband and a family of my own. But the Lord has made that clear that that is not in my cards at the moment. So I'm happy with it because he knows best. Because he knows my future and knows me better than I do. Thankfully, he knows, and he knows what's best. And if he has given me this life, I am choosing to love it. To love where I am right now. To be happy and excited with the life that I currently love, that I currently have. Because it's wonderful. Because it's awesome. Because it's cool. No matter what kind of life you have, it is cool and it's awesome. And it is a gift from the Lord. And it should be something that is cherished and loved and appreciated. And not something that you are wishing for you to throw away and to give away. I view... Now that all being said, obviously, some of the things that I also want to point out, specifically talking to other women in similar positions as myself. Don't jump on the first wagon that comes by unless you're certain that that is where the Lord is calling you. That's how I want to word that. Because someone can show up within your life and you can go like, okay, maybe, maybe not. But don't just go with that person solely because they're the only ones that's asked you. If that is the only reasoning, and you're afraid that this will be your only chance to be married off and to have that life, if that is the only reasoning, don't take it. Don't do that, please. Respect yourself. That you deserve something way better than that. A really good way that I like to picture this, and this is how I have honestly lived my life for years now, is the Lord has given you a race to run. So run that race. Do the things that you are called to do. Live the life you are called to live. And whoever it is that comes up alongside you, that's the person for you to marry. If that person has different views on or different stances on things that you hold very dear to yourself. Like, for example, with myself, children are really important to me and I want children. So if the guy who comes up alongside me doesn't want kids, nothing against him, but that's not my race, not to have kids. Does that make sense? I very much so want someone, to be able to have the same views, to walk alongside me in the things and in the way that I'm living. And it goes both ways. There's someone out there, I'm sure, who also really wants kids. And one day, hopefully, we'll meet on the same path towards this. Don't go off your path. Don't go off your race to... When I say race, I mean like running race, for the record. Don't go off your path to go get married. To go and have a relationship and, that life. The Lord will bring that person to you. And that can look like 1,000,001 different things. Because everyone is different and everyone is unique. So it can mean something very different to you than it does to me, what that would look like. But it is it is my stance on this. This is what I believe. That the Lord will provide the right person at the right time. And it may take a while. And it may be annoying sometimes. And hard sometimes. I won't say that it's not. It has its moments. But just think about it's worth waiting for someone who is going to hold your heart, your body, your mind, and your soul. It is worth waiting for someone who comes alongside you, or you come alongside them. Going both ways, because for each person, that's their perspective. Walking their path and the person coming alongside them. It's worth the wait. It's worth being single for a while, or being single for your whole life, if that is what the Lord has called you to do. It can be hard. I can acknowledge that. But He'll give you the strength to get through it, to do it. And often the people who are called to be single and or childless end up having a lot of adopted and found family. That's the best I can word that. They are usually called to be people who have the biggest found family you could ever imagine. So run your race. Run your path. Do what you do. Live your life that the Lord has given you with the passion and the love. Work on your relationship with Him. Work on your relationship with yourself. Because if you can't be happy with yourself, how are you supposed to be happy living with someone else 24/7? I think that is something that is very highly missed. If you can't stand yourself, that relationship isn't going to be any better with someone else in your life 24/7. And work on other relationships. Your family, your friends, your church, your coworkers. Those are all very valuable, important relationships to have. Work on all of that. And when the time is right, the Lord will provide the person that will help you, that will build you up, that will walk alongside you within your work, within your path. Trust Him. He knows what He's doing. The Lord knows what He's doing in all of this. Have I made all my points? Hang on. Let me make sure I made all my points. One other thing I want to put out there. One other quick thing, a comment that my mother gave me that I hold very true to my heart. And I'm putting it here because anyone who is watching this, especially young ladies who are watching this, I want you to hear this part. Yes, the Bible calls us to be our partner's helpmeet. We are called to serve, to submit, and yes, I'll probably do a whole other just talk on my views on all of this as well. But the Lord does call us to submit, to serve, to be there, to help our husbands. But we get to be the ones that pick. We get to be the ones that pick who it is that we're going to submit to, and who it is that we are going to serve and be a helpmeet for. Especially in today's society where we are now, we get to pick who that is. We get to pick who has our heart, who gets to have our bodies, our mind, our soul. That is our choice, to get to pick who that is. My mom told me that, and it has made a world of difference. You are not any less loved by the Lord if you are single. You are not any less loved by the Lord if you are married and have children. You have your life to live. The Lord has given it to you. Enjoy it. Enjoy this season, this period of time where your responsibilities are yours and you don't have someone else to think about. Well, I guess that's not entirely true because, you got family, friends, church, coworkers. You get my point, though. You understand what it is that I'm saying. Love this time of season. It's an awesome time to figure things out, to go explore and have adventures. And you are not failing. You are not a failure if you are single. You are no lesser of a person, no lesser of a Christian if you are single. No matter what that looks like to you. Whether it's because you're young and you're waiting, like myself. Whether you were in a bad relationship and had to break it off. Or whether you are a widow or a widower and you find yourself single and alone in these times, you're not alone. God has called you for this stuff, for these seasons, for times such as this. That one's an Esther, I know that. And he loves you. He loves you where you are right now. He loves what you are right now. Work on your relationship with him. Work on the relationship with yourself and everyone that is in your life at the moment. Be happy in this time. And don't give the devil satisfaction in knowing that he can harden your heart, that he can make you jealous or angry or lonely. Don't give him that satisfaction. Because God created you for this, and he loves you so much, no matter where you are in your life. He loves you. Hello. As some of you probably know, I really enjoy photography. I love capturing funny, awesome moments with me and my family. I love taking pictures of the fun things that we get into and just all sorts of mischief and cool experience. But I also really enjoy taking pictures of this beautiful world that we live in. I've been doing this for quite some time as a hobby, so I have quite a few photos that are in my little collection. I thought it would be kind of fun to share them. So I've signed up with Fine Art America and made my own little profile. Also kind of made my own little website. I have 25 unique photos that are uploaded right now. You can get them as prints, as canvas prints, as metal prints or wooden prints, but you can also get them as everyday household items. You know, like a notebook, or maybe even some greeting cards. But you can also get them on other stuff like pillows, blankets, mugs. Some of the prints are on t-shirts, all sorts of really cool, awesome stuff, including stickers and puzzles. Go